Okay, the tools of the trade. I'm going to try to do this without locking it down with our, well, I don't want to see if I can do it without a clamp. I'll probably have to end up clamping it though. It's really hard to one-hand it with a 4.5 inch grinder with a 3M flapper wheel on it. We have a die grinder with a rotary file on it, just in case if we got to get into some tight quarters. And we also have a little drum sander. Now, when it comes to sanding, I always start off with a little bit of a worn, finish sanding. I usually start off with a little bit of a worn barrel or worn, any sort of sandpaper, because you can always add, you can always change your drum and put a more aggressive one on it. But once you start taking material off, you can't put it back on unless you have a TIG welder and you know how to weld cast iron with a nickel rod. And I don't really want to monkey around with that. So we're going to do the most conservative thing is, which take the least amount off as we can. And gosh, what else do we need to do? Well, personal equipment's on, of course. We've got a dust mask on. We've got eyeglasses on. And we're going to put our hearing protection on. Here we go. Now again, I'm letting the tool do the work. I'm just guiding it. There's no reason to press really super duper hard, get crazy with it. I am just literally resting this on there and guiding it. Alright, I'm just taking a look where the most gouges, I guess, from the blade, right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how quick these come out. See, this is called feathering, better known when I screwed up and I got the saw blade. What you do is you concentrate here, but you also move over here and here, so you're not going to have a round spot. So you concentrate right here, but you move up here and down here so that your eye won't see the difference. Because all you're trying to do is fool your eye, because there's no way that this edge is going to be consistent all the way around. Okay, I'm going to work on this edge right here. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's all the grinding I need to do with the 4.5. I'm going to plug in my air. Now, the whole idea behind this is to take the edge off all the way around. Now, there's still a couple of imperfections, but I think by rounding off that lip, I think we'll get them all. Where's my air? Oh, over here. All right, let's see if we can do this a second. I don't like air because of the hose is so stinking big. And with cameras around, you know how it goes, right? Super fun. You can knock stuff over. So let's see if we can do this. Here we go. All right, compressors are loud. Another reason I don't like them. I've got a couple little imperfections that I'm going to hit it with a 4.5 inch a second. Get them out of there. May as well do it right now. Now, if I wanted to, I could make this shape anywhere I want. I can, this roundness, I can make it super round. I can kind of make it a pointed corner. I'm going to make it a semi-pointed corner, and I'm talking loud because I have my earmuffs on. Okay. And what I can do is I can contour that. So I'm just going to do it by eye. I'm not going to like go get a quarter or something round and trace it on there. It's not that important. But this thing's almost done, and I think I can manipulate this 4.5 inch grinder to get that edge off. Let's try it, shall we? Take the gloves off, let's give her a feel and see if there's anything sharp. Oh yeah, that is nice. That is beautiful. All right, now what I want to do is I want to do a final, take these, wow, earmuffs are fun. I want to do a final look and feel and see if there's any inconsistencies or anything that I feel that is going to be a showstopper. I've got a little bit of a one right there. Got a respirator on too, so your nose gets stuffed up. But it's better than blowing black boogers out for the rest of the day because you have iron up your nose, right? Yeah, so I'm just gonna hit it right, where was it? Right there. I put my earmuffs back on. Now, I could spend a little bit more time rounding off this edge, but I don't see any reason to. I'm going to leave it square. But that's it. We'll take this inside. We'll get a good picture of it, a good video of it, so you can really get a... Well, can we do that right here? All right, what do you guys think? Think that came out okay? I think I'm going to have probably an hour 45 into it to modify this, and I'm going to have it for the rest of my life. I think it came out really good. Gosh, get this respirator off. Feels like I'm dying. Oh, that's better. If it was warmer outside, I'd just open up the door and do it outside. But yeah, that came out really wonderful. All right, let's make sure we are in this shot. All right, as far as projects went, this thing went really smooth. Other than breaking the blade and having to buy a new blade, or order new blades, they came a couple days later, and it all worked out. It gives you a good experience, a project like this with hand tools. If you never used an oscillating tool, I never had until 4 years ago. I picked one up. They're wonderful and cut through this cast iron great. There's one more step to this video, or to this project actually, and that is to go around and we need to season this. And this is going to be a really hard season because this is fresh cut. It's all brand new cast iron under here. It's never been seasoned. So if you have a pan that you've had for 15, 20 years and you have a nice seasoning built up on it, you can cook a steak in it, warm it up, hit it with some water, get yourself a towel with some oil on it, wipe it, and you're done. With this, it's a little bit more involved. Not a lot, just a little. I do something I call an all-day season. When I have a seasoning that's
if I cook a seasoning off, in other words, if I put it in like a really hot campfire and burn all that seasoning off and I start from scratch, I do something I call an all-day season, and I'll share that with you in the next video. It keeps your seasoning, it'll give you a seasoning like you had to pan for 20 years. It's a really good process. I've tried it a couple times and it comes out perfect every time. So that'll be the next video. I also noticed right here the die or the casting, it's a casting, it's cast iron, is really sharp right there. So I'm going to take this file, which is they call it a flat bastard, and just contour that. Now I could have hit it while I was out there with a 4.5-inch grinder. This is a lot more controlled. It does not take a lot to take an edge like that off. And we're gonna have to season this, because if we don't season this, it's all gonna rust. It's just gonna be a rusty mess. Now for those of you who have never used a file, file's cut in one way. That's why I'm doing that and I'm not coming back like that. All you do is dull your file and wreck it. So it cuts a lot like a hacksaw. Hacksaws, you know, with cutting bolts and so forth, only cut one way, like that. Let's see how that feels. Oh, that is smooth as butter. All right, that's going to be nice to grab onto when you cook it. But that's it. It's a nice little project. Don't be afraid to buy a $20 pan and modify it. The worst you're going to do is wreck a pan. You can always buy another one. But this came out pretty doggone nice. I like it. It's going to be a nice pan for the rest of my life. And again, the only reason we wanted it was because the shoulders on the ones that they sell, I don't know if you'd call it a shoulder, it's actually a wall, are just so short. And I'm afraid that grease and splatter is going to go all over, and this will help keep some of that in. So that's the whole reason. I've got, over the last week, probably, I only do 15-20 minutes at a time. I probably have an hour and a half or 2 hours into this, so it doesn't take very long. It's a nice little project. It's not a huge project. Something you can do. Trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. So this is Hap for Hap Around the House. If you like our videos, hit the like button and subscribe. And thanks for spending a little bit of time around my house. We'll see you next time.